This video by Geometry-Creator School has been bugging me ever since I watched it, and I really just need to shit out my thoughts in a video. I get it's 3 months old and the channel is small, but I'll never stop thinking about this if I don't make this. And he hasn't made any comments under it reiterating his points, so I'm just gonna assume he still believes this. In the description is a link to it, so just go watch it for context. I don't feel like playing anything from it. Also, this is an opinionated piece, none of this is fact, just a reflection of my thoughts on art. Anyways, this video is called The Problem with 2.2 Game Remakes, and in it he provides 4 main points to support his belief that simple game remakes aren't good. 1. They don't require as much effort anymore because of the new 2.2 features. 2. They're made solely for attention. 3. Copyright. And 4. They're harmful to the overall creating community as the creator does not have to come up with ideas. The main example he uses is Knights Plus 2, which translates FNAF Plus into GD. What's funny about this level is that FNAF Plus didn't even come out, so this is probably one of the only ways to play the game. I just thought I'd mention that because it's funny. Knights Plus 2, according to GDCS, took less effort than game remakes from 2.1 because of all the new shit and whatever, and therefore it is soulless slot made for attention. But the point kind of falls apart as soon as you think that maybe the level wasn't made specifically for attention. Maybe it was made because the creator found it fun to figure out how to translate mechanics from one engine into another totally foreign engine with its own quirks and things to figure out. And even if to you it's not that complicated, there's artistic value and expression in that process alone. There's an intent, a vision, work, and passion that fuels game remakes, even something like Knights Plus 2. Image to GD being used also doesn't mean anything, since the assembly of all the parts and mechanics in a way that works and gets across what you want it to is mainly what I think this level is trying to get across, and what the creator wanted to do. Yeah, if everything was made from scratch, I'd find it more interesting, but there's really nothing wrong with this. Sound collage, plunderphonics, and vaporwave albums, despite being built all around pre-existing material, are still valid forms of art. Not really the samples themselves, but the way they're put together that makes them interesting. And the same thing applies to Knights Plus 2. I don't care if you think the level is bad or whatever, but if your main reason for that is I think the creator did it for attention, then that's kind of stupid. This other point about effort is weird too. If it doesn't have as much effort as others, that shouldn't mean it's bad or soulless. I don't know why effort is dictating the quality or value and intent or whatever. What's weird is that he thinks that because this Rainbow Road remake and this Terraria Boss remake had more effort put into them, they were made with love and passion, and Knights Plus 2 wasn't. Which again, passion isn't determined by how much time is spent or how technical it is. But hey, maybe he's right. Maybe Knights Plus 2 was made maliciously and solely for attention rather than an artistic expression. But to just assume that is very close-minded and means your argument is built on an assumption you dug out of your ass. And even if it's made with attention as the main motivator, my point would still stand, it just wouldn't apply to this specific level. His next point is copyright, which yeah, things could go wrong if copyright gets involved, and it's something to keep in mind when creating, so I guess there's nothing wrong with this warning. He then defends copyright as a system, but I'll talk about that more when it makes sense. His final and worst point is that remaking games disrespects the creative process because you don't have to think of your own ideas. It makes it seem like creators who make game remakes treat it like a competition over people who make original stuff, and they're killing art and artistry as we know it. And that isn't true at all. People don't create because they want attention, at least 99.9% don't. They make what they find enjoyment in making, and maybe assembling things together in a way that works without having to worry about making art is fun to them. The pure thought that you could make a game remake and get popular for it doesn't convert every single artist into a machine that pumps out slop either. This isn't some apocalyptic art killing event. I used to do this thing where I'd take frames from animes and copy them exactly in this little sketchbook I had and then post them onto TikTok. And I knew other artists who did the same thing too. Now, were they, and also I, disrespecting art by doing this because I wasn't creating my own original drawings and I was just copying a pre-existing thing? Well, the GD Creator School I apparently was. These weren't ways for me to make things related to other art that I like. Ways to show love and appreciation for something or just for improvement or literally any other motivation. I was malicious and spitting in the face of artistry, obviously. Even though I don't do this thing anymore, I still mostly make fan art, and my fan art posts almost always get more attention than my original character posts. Even if it isn't by that much. I'm a nobody, okay? Do I still draw and post original characters? Yes. And does me drawing fan art make artists who create original works go, I need to maximize my Twitter likes and attention too. I'll make fan art solely for that reason. No, because no artist thinks like that, and if attention is the main driving force for your creations, then I don't see you as an artist. This mindset that this video promotes that art is only valid if it took a lot of effort and if it's original is awful, and it's upsetting to me that a channel that brands itself as a tool to help lesser experienced creators more effectively express their ideas would promote something I think is so anti-art. It's even worse when in the same video where he claims remakes are detrimental to art, he defends the copyright system, a system that only benefits soulless corporations who treat art as products and only ever want to extort as much money from those products as possible while keeping full control over them. Them and losers who think that like vaporwave isn't a real genre or something. Also, if you want a better or more detailed video about copyright, this one by Patricia Taxon is great. It's also very funny looking at the comments, seeing him defending lobotomy levels in the comment section of a video where he equates Knights plus 2 to low effort slop that anyone can make. He defends levels where the entire point of them is to be low effort slop that anyone can make, and were actually used by some people to farm interactions and attention on their level. But hey, that fire in the hole! One comment asked about how Knights plus 2 is plagiarism when it doesn't really fit the description. He said that, by the way, I didn't know where to put it in. My bad. And he comes in to defend his wrong definition of plagiarism, then compares it to copy and pasting an article for school, which, one, there's no game to GD convert button, they still had to work, even if image to GD was used. It was not just converted through a machine. And two, how is English class even a valid comparison? What's weirdest about this video is that underneath all of the blowing shit out of proportion is a genuinely fine video that discusses how the 2.2 editions have made game remakes easier and therefore less interesting to GDCS. Not because they're objectively bad and killing art, but because he personally doesn't care about them that much. This video is just like yucky to me, and it feels like trying to minimize the work of people who create differently from you because you have some like crackhead theory that states Knights plus 2 is the end-all be-all, apocalypse-starting, child-murdering ender of art as we know it. I really hate that the mindset this promotes, that there's a right and a wrong way to create, that this way of creating an expression is bad for artists and art as an idea. When test tubes started getting attention on Twitter, people sort of did the same thing, cursing the creator for daring to create a level like this, and the community for daring to derive meaning from it. Shame on them. I'm not the pretentious one, you are. Blanket Addict is obviously trying to stroke their own dick and the dicks of other very pretentious people and make themselves look super smart and artistic. I also don't have any screenshots because the original GD Today tweet was supposedly deleted, so you'll just have to take my word. Please, I swear I remember this. This kind of thought process plagues the GD community to a degree that I've never seen in any other game community. I know this isn't a good metric, but the comment sections of levels house a lot of this stuff, usually regarding balancing, because some act like that's an objective metric when discussing GD levels. The level doesn't have good balancing? Check the little box on your clipboard and make a shitty comment about it. Whatever, bruh. My album by JavPika in particular comes to mind, as it gets a lot of shit for having its first 20% be basically auto and then the rest to be very hard. But this first section is genuinely so good to me, and the level wouldn't be the same without it. The song at this point in the level is just a single droning noise that's portrayed through repetitive gameplay before there's an actual melody that gameplay can attach itself to. Later in the song it does go back to the droning, but the gameplay stays the same difficulty, which is probably my least favorite part of the level. Makes it weirdly inconsistent with itself. And if it used the full song and followed the repetitive rise and fall structure of the song all the way through, I think it'd be really, really cool. But still, this first part is such a neat bit of song representation. I honestly wish the gameplay here didn't diverge at all and was just 4 block staircases for like 15 seconds. This cube is really effective, and playing this kind of gameplay every attempt from zero made the level way more memorable for me and more rewarding to beat. A lot of balancing related quirks can almost always be contributed to song representation. One of my own levels that I'm working on uses the song To See the Next Part of the Dream by Parannoul, a song I specifically chose because I wanted to represent the extremely harsh tonal shift from soft acoustic to harsh noisy shoegaze. Obviously, the level isn't really balanced, but neither is the song, so... And what's more important anyways, a level that feels fully realized where the music isn't just a complement to the gameplay, but an integral part of it, or a level that's more fun to grind 10,000 attempts into to beat. Honestly, I want more levels to be released that don't want you to beat them. Why by Kunekun is a 40-minute memory level that by all accounts is not going to be beaten anytime soon. I did actually watch the whole thing, I don't really know how. I'm kind of glad I did though. I think this level is like actually a masterpiece, bro. The fuzziness and haziness of it all and how it doesn't change at all in color palette or style, it titillates the senses to the highest degree. Repetitiveness is usually seen as a negative, but it adds so much to the overall theme of the level, being extremely confusing and having no indication of where you are at any time. No change in decoration style to ever give you any idea of what specific part you're at, and everything being enveloped in this thick purple fog. I think levels like this that are more so things to view and gawk at and be like, what? Wow. Oh my god. As opposed to actually grinding it are really cool. I had this idea a while back to make a level to the entirety of some rap songs by Earl Sweatshirt, which is only a 25-minute album, which in album terms is not long at all, but in GD terms, it's pretty long. I wanted it to be more of an art piece that you experience once in practice mode or watch and you don't actually try and beat it. I didn't finish it. I didn't even get past the first song, but someone more dedicated than me could take that idea of a full album level and make something cool with it, I think. And who knows, maybe I will make a 10+ minute level someday when I have more motivation and ideas. Kodak Moment by Lexicat is a level that breaks every unwritten rule of GD, but it's still one of the best things to come out of it. It does such an amazing job at, again, representing its song to a point where the imagery used and things depicted in the level is what I envision when listening to the song in my own time. The first part is an extremely vibrant grassland flooded with intense blaring colors. The middle part is this disorienting, swirling mess of color and objects, uncontrollable and violently shaking. And the final part is this cozy, quaint little neighborhood. I love how when the song calms down after this huge, intense, super crazy part, and it sounds like a game resetting. There's like text that says attempt 1. It's like a detail that adds so much life to the level, and it's literally the smallest touch ever. I already said it, but I love the level. It feels like Letsy's exact thoughts when listening to Kodak Moment were just like plastered onto the GD editor. And despite being messy and disregarding a lot of the standard creating conventions set by the community, I still love it. And it represents the song amazingly in a very fun way. So that's the end of the video. That was initially about a video by GD Creator School that sort of diverged into me talking about levels that go against standard creating conventions that do it in a way that enhances the experience of the level. But ultimately, there's still an overarching idea to everything. There's no wrong way to create. Art is a very liquid term, and there are thousands of different styles and goals and intentions behind what people make. So don't minimize what they make and say it disrespects the creative process because it's not original or it's pretentious, which in other words just means I don't get this and I think people are stupid for saying they get it. And if you think there is a wrong way of creating and things need to include art fundamentals like perspective or color theory and GD art fundamentals like balancing and variation, then you're a lame ass bitch. Well, that's the end of the video, bye. Oh my god, end of video thing where I'm just gonna say shit, not off script. I don't have anything to read. But if you enjoyed the video, obviously, subscribe. Like the video, this is a different video. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna make anything similar to this, but I needed to, as I said, I needed to shit out my thoughts in a video. Videos about actually meaningful topics soon, hopefully. So, stay tuned, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bye, whatever.